TD Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Diamond, your State Farm insurance agent in DeKalb. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in DeKalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Diamond and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. Don't forget Kids Eat for Free on Thursday. For delivery or pickup, go to pizzavilla.com or call 815-758-8116. Elder Care Services of DeKalb. Safe, secure, and supported, helping you stay in home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdekalb.org. My Insurance Guy in Sycamore covers Medicare to auto care and everything in between. Stop by at 204 South Main Street in Sycamore. Call 815-899-0950 or online at myinsuranceguy.com. And welcome into TD Ryan Unleashed, podcast number 66. I often say honored and privileged to have my guest here, but this goes beyond honored and privileged to have the Grand Exalted Ruler of the Elks, Bryan Klatt, joining us this morning. Bryan, how you doing, my friend?
Doing fine, TD. How you been?
You are an amazing individual. You know, the American dream, we're celebrating our 250th year, and of course, the American dream, if you work hard and persevere at what you want to do, you can do that. And you did that, Bryan. I guess for 40 years, you've been wanting to be the Grand Exalted Leader, haven't you?
Well, 40 years ago when I became a member of the Elks, I never even dreamed I'd be in the position I'm in now. It never even crossed my mind.
It's amazing what you've done. And let's talk about that hard work because for folks that don't know, for 17 years, Bryan worked as a Grand Secretary for the Elks. Then he commuted from DeKalb to a mile south of Wrigley Field, but never wanted to trade his DeKalb home for a place more accessible to his office at 2750 Lakeview Drive in Chicago. Now, over that period, Bryan, I used to complain about getting up at 4:30 in the morning to do the morning radio show. Bryan used to get up at 3:15 every morning so that he could beat the traffic and get to his office by 6 a.m. That's incredible, Bryan, that you did that for 17 years. And I got to ask you, what time did you go to sleep at night?
Between 9 and 9:30, we'd watch the 9 o'clock news and hit the hay about that time and get about 6 hours of sleep if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Start the next day over again.
And how was that commute? That had to be killer. At least maybe not at that time, but at the way back, how was that?
The commute going in wasn't bad. It was about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, somewhere in there. Going home, it could be as little as 2 hours and as much as we had two trips to where I took me 5.5 hours to get home.
Gosh. Oh, God bless you for that, Bryan. Well, again, hard work and perseverance pays off, as you are indeed the Grand Exalted Ruler. An honor for me to know two Grand Exalted Rulers personally, because my stepfather, Bob Sabin, was a Grand Exalted Ruler as well. But I wanted to clean up some things about the Elks in general, and that is the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month. I want to explain that to folks, Bryan, the significance of that and why the toast at 11 o'clock is so important to the Elks.
There were 70,000 Elk members that were in World War I, and 1,000 of them got killed. And the general at the time, General Pershing, when he decided to have Armistice Day, chose the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month, because with Elks, 11 o'clock at night is a tender significance when you remember those who have passed on to the hereafter.
Oh, very good. And that was Blackjack Pershing, right? We're talking about there.
That is correct.
Our leader during World War I. Elks wear red on Fridays. Why is that?
To honor our troops that are in American soil and or overseas in action. It's our way to pay respect to their service that they're giving to their country.
I didn't know that. I'm a proud Elk, but I'm going to start wearing red on Fridays. I did not know that. And there's Elks greeting, "Hello, Bill." Do you know about that one? I saw that in my research here. And
that was a way back in the early years of saying hello to a member.
Is that it? You say, "Hello, Bill."
Hello, Bill. Yep.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Now, I was asking off the air about the big convention being here in Chicago, and you talked about, this is not the first time, obviously, you've been involved in a convention, but you're the Grand Exalted Ruler now, and here in your own backyard. That's got to be exciting for you.
It's very exciting. Being in Chicago for this year of 2026 as the national president, the Grand Exalted Ruler, is kind of like icing on the cake. In 1994, I was going in as district deputy in Chicago. 3 years later, in 97, going to the convention in Chicago, I was the state president. So kind of the culmination of my tour, you might say, is being in Chicago for 2026, being the national president.
Yes, well, it is, as it should be. Again, and let's talk about the little history of the Elks. Something I didn't know. Charles Algernon Sidney Vivian. He was the son of a clergyman and a comedic singer. With everything closed on Sundays in New York because of their blue laws, a group of theatrical people began meeting on their own for amusement under Vivian's leadership. The Jolly Corks, a name derived from a trick introduced by Vivian in which the unintended purchase, an uninitiated purchase around of refreshments. Now, I looked that up. So it's a cork. So you'll each get a cork.
Everybody had a cork.
And then somebody indicates when it's time to pick up that cork. But the members already knew. So they already had the cork picked up, right?
Correct.
All they had to do was turn their hand around.
That was to get a free drink.
Get a free drink. I love that. But then you got more serious, didn't you? When one of their members died shortly after Christmas in 1867, leaving his wife and children desolate, the Jolly Corkers decided, in addition to good fellowship, they needed a more enduring organization to serve those needs. So that's how it really came about, huh?
That was the first notice of a charitable organization right there.
Wow. That's amazing. So then they changed the name, obviously. And, you want to mention about the Elks, because I didn't know this, why they chose the Elks, and I'm sure you know this, Brian, but because the animal's peaceful nature, keen perception, fierce readiness to defend its own. They officially adopted the name the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks. So what a great animal to choose.
Exactly. And that took place in 1868.
1868. Okay, so that's when you officially became the Elks.
When became the Elks.
And, of course, during World War I, you mentioned during World War I and World War II, the Elks raised millions of dollars to aid U.S. soldiers, building reconstruction hospitals and helping fund the creation of early VA medical centers. So I didn't know that. The VA medical centers are so important.
The very first one was funded by Elks money.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, I get goosebumps hearing that. The Elks were instrumental in establishing Flag Day. In 1949, Elk member and U.S. President Harry Truman signed the legislation officially designating June 14th as Flag Day. Now, we just had Flag Day. What did you do on Flag Day, Brian?
I was on an airplane.
Oh, okay.
I was flying back from Virginia for a meeting that I did during my tour as the national president, the Grand Exalted Ruler. We make up to 45 trips.
Wow.
From July to July. And that on June 14th this year, Flag Day, Sue and I and my wife were coming back from Virginia. Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
We really couldn't participate, but we were in spirit.
I'm sure you were in spirit, too. And what has that been like, Brian, traveling around the country as the Grand Exalted Ruler? Because you get to meet so many wonderful people, so many wonderful Elks.
For 17 years, I read about the state major projects that states have and the good deeds that they do. And so I get a firsthand look at 44 of them this year. Talk to the people that run them, see how people are affected by it, the good, the bad, the good.
Sure, the complications.
The complications that goes on. A lot of our states deal with needy adults, needy children, and to see them in action, working and making their lives simpler is very rewarding.
I bet that must have been magical for you. That's really something there. And of course, Veterans Youth, you just mentioned that the BPOE continues to focus on veterans, youth scholarships, and local community building. Now, the Elks have grown from 15 original members to over 8,000 members and roughly 2,000 lodges across the United States. Membership is open to American citizens of good moral character, and they took me anyway, who believe in God.
It was a fight.
Members continue to raise tens of millions of dollars annually for a wide variety of local charities. And like you said, it's wonderful to see that, Brian. Well, let's talk about Bryan Klatt a little bit because, again, just so impressive what you've done. And you're a native. A local boy makes good. You're born and raised here in DeKalb. And,
born at St. Mary.
And welcome back. Sorry about the technical. Bryan Klatt was just telling us where in DeKalb you were born again, sir?
St. Mary's Hospital, Fisk Avenue.
I love it. That's great. Maybe soon to be a hotel boutique or apartments. We don't know what. But it's so great, Brian, that you stayed here. You know, since I've been doing this podcast a little over a year now, I've met so many people that have been born and raised in DeKalb and chose to go nowhere else. You didn't even want to move closer to where you work, did you?
No, didn't even think about it.
You describe about sitting in your backyard, looking at the sky, having a cocktail, and say, "Why would you want
a glass of wine? Why would I go into the noise of the city when I can sit out here in the peace and quiet of the country?"
I know. When I read that, I just wanted to be there. It was great. And of course, you went to NIU as well, and you graduated with a degree in industrial arts. What does that mean, Brian? A degree?
It was a basic degree, just kind of over-encompassing a lot of different things. Because at that time, I knew I was going to be coming out. When I graduated, I was going to work with my father at Kalal, the former Kalal Sheet Metal. And I just tried to cover the bases with that, with the classes that I took at Northern.
Okay. And of course, and then you were also equipment manager with a 5-year student equipment manager for the football team, which earned him a half-ride scholarship for all 5 years. Now, how did you end up doing that, Brian?
When I was a senior in high school, Wayne Miller, the wrestling coach at the time, and Fred Hardman came to me and said that there was a half a scholarship available at Northern's football team. Would I be interested in putting my name in the ring to get that? Said I was planning on going to college at Northern anyway, so yeah, let's do it. So me and a gentleman from East Leiden split the full ride scholarship.
Is that right?
I got the tuition and fees, and he got the room and board.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's a fair trade out. And what was it like being equipment manager? Because obviously you got to know the players quite well, and your job is important as any other one on the team. What was it like working with equipment?
Actually, it was better than you think. It was getting to know the coaches, the players, and my side of the thing was equipment, helmets, shoulder pads, that type of stuff. Whereas the other gentleman that had the scholarship, he took care of films and that side of the coin. And
Who had to do the laundry? Or was that somebody else?
that was somebody else.
Well, that's wonderful you did that. So you work your way through. You talked about the Kalal sheet metal. When we hear sheet metal, I can picture big pieces of sheet metal, but what did you do on a daily basis with that? Or I guess a lot of different things, obviously.
Well, for the most part, I did bidding projects from as small as a house, air conditioner, to
Okay.
as big as a 15-story clinic for ductwork and
Oh, the
equipment,
ductwork, okay.
that type of stuff. We did roofing, roofing, and metal coping around the buildings
okay.
and such like that.
And you worked with your brother, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, my brother and I and my father.
That's great. That's wonderful, being a family like that. And I did not know that you were also a third-degree Knight of the Knights of Columbus, Council 717. Can you be that at an Elk at the same time?
Oh yeah, I'm a moose too.
Okay. How does that differ? How are they different then? Well, not different, but I mean, the Knights of Columbus they're more with children, right?
The Knights of Columbus is more with children, helping local charities in need, that type of stuff. Whereas the Moose help our children. It's Moose Heart. Their main fundraiser and action is Moose Heart in Batavia.
Yeah, that's a great organization too. And of course, you met your lovely wife here. We met Susan on October 8th, 1983. Now, you were high school sweethearts, is that right?
That's what they tell me.
Oh, that's great that you guys were able to get that. And then tell us about the family. You have 3 children, right? Greg, Andrew, and Lucas?
Yes, Gregory and Lucas live here in town, and Andrew lives up by the Wisconsin state line.
Okay. Yeah, I heard this stat. I think it's 60 or 7% of Americans live within 100 miles of where they were born. So your boys,
It's perfect.
they're all in there, aren't they?
Yep.
Oh, that's great. And now what are they doing now?
Gregory is working at the Grove over on 4th Street.
Oh, okay.
Andrew works for a catering and wedding venue up in Rockton, Illinois, as the main chef. And Lucas works for a construction company out of Arlington Heights.
Oh, very good. Well, that's great to hear that. That's great. Now, we also were an announcer, much like my heart there. We worked together several times. I went to Northern Illinois announcing baseball, softball, gymnastics, football, and women's basketball, and at various school civic and athletic events as well. How did that come about, Brian? Were you the announcer?
We went back when KYFL, Kishwaukee Youth Football League, started.
Oh,
out.
yeah. Okay.
Steve Almberg and I would stand in his auctioneering truck and announce the games for the Pee Wee football teams.
Is that right?
And when my oldest boy Gregory got into high school, we went to a game, and after sitting through a game next to my wife, I decided I needed to find something else to do because she and her friends did a lot of talking. So I went to the athletic director.
There's a game on.
Exactly. At that time was Art Rollman was the athletic director, and I offered my services as being a public address announcer. So that started with football.
Wow.
Moved into basketball, and the rest is history. The NIU things that I covered were a fill-in. If somebody was sick and couldn't make it, I was like number 3 or 4 down the list, and so I did a few things.
That's a lot of your time there, too. That's great. I mean, and then when you decided to hang it up after 25 years, I know I was there the last year you were doing it, and what was it like to just
walk away from it?
Yeah.
It was difficult because
bet.
you got to know the coaches, you got to know the kids, but it was time. My throat was getting tired, and I don't know how you do it, doing all the talking you do, because I did not even a third of that, and my voice is basically at times shot.
I read a quote from one of the articles I read about you when you were talking about Corn Fest, where you go, I don't go to meetings. He said, I don't go to meetings.
No, that was Chuck Seabrass's job for corn when we were with the corn boil.
Yeah.
I'd bring the worker bees and get the job done, where Chuck could sit through those meetings.
We're talking to Bryan Klatt, again, the Grand Exalted leader of the Elks.
Say that fast.
Now, you're an honorary life member. What does that mean, Brian, that you're an honorary life member of the Elks?
That just means I've accomplished things that most people in the organization don't accomplish.
Okay.
You can become a life member and an honorary life. An honorary life is one that gets that bestowed upon them before the age of 65.
All right, very good. Now, I was joking when you do relax here. We talked about that. There's a Bryan Klatt and Susan Klatt. Be the difference. So I meant to ask you about that. Now, why be the difference? What is that? That's your theme for the year.
My theme is be the difference because it applies to everybody in the organization. It could be a 40-year member. It could be a 1-year member. And it's sit back, take a look at the programs that that are offered and what the lodge participates in, and be the difference to take that program one step farther. Make it better for the next guy coming in or the next gal coming in.
I like that.
See what we can do. And it seems like people took to it real well. I see it all over America when we travel. And people come up to me and say it's a fantastic motto because it hits home.
It is. And you were out seeing the people being the difference, right?
Exactly.
That's great. Well, that's a fantastic thing. But it says here, preferred beverages, Brian, Sky Vodka, Club Soda, and bottled water. Susan, 14 Hands Cabernet Sauvignon, LaCroix, Peach Pure Sparkling Water, and bottled water. What was that like doing all that traveling? Are you a travel person?
I hate flying.
Oh, me too. I'm right there with you.
But this year, last Sunday, we came home on our 85th flight in 10 and a half months.
Oh, my gosh.
So needless to say, I overcame my happiness for flying real fast.
Well, go sit in the backyard, and you need that. And I was looking at this. The mission of the Elks is very interesting if people don't know. Charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity. That's quite a little set there, huh?
Been that way since the instant.
Is that right?
Yep.
To recognize and believe in God, to promote the welfare, and I love this, enhance the happiness of its members, to quicken the spirit of American patriotism. Because I think we all have that. We saw that with 9/11 where we all came together for just a couple of weeks, unfortunately, after that event. But I think we all have that patriotic spirit within us, don't we, Brian?
You just need something to bring it out. Be it the flag burning that took place many years ago, or patriotism on Flag Day. There's something will jerk your memory, make you feel like you'd be a part of America.
Well, the thing that comes to my mind immediately when you say that is Rick Monday with the Chicago Cubs. I think it was 1976. It might have been the bicentennial year, where the two
right.
Puerto Rican nationals tried to set fire to the American flag in the middle of Wrigley Field, and Rick Monday swooped over and got the flag right before they were able to light it.
I remember that.
That was beautiful. And he says people still. That's I think it was like almost 50 years ago. People still say that the first thing they say to him then when they see him about that. Now, the Order spends more than $80 million every year to benevolent education and patriotic community-minded programs in such fields as benefiting special needs for children, sponsoring Elks National Foundation Scholarship, scouting, athletic teams, veteran works of a national hoop shoot, a free throw contest involving more than 3 million children, physical and occupational therapy, and patriotic programs. So a lot of we associate the Elks obviously with veterans, but with the children here. And, of course, the hoop shoot has just been amazingly popular, hasn't it?
Very popular. And we moved these national finals are now at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, the mid-April every year. So people want to come see 72 of the best shooters, kids-wise, in the nation.
Yeah.
Stop by the Wintrust Center.
I was watching the finals. Nate Robinson on the Knicks is hitting 38% from the free throw line, and I'm like, I think about these kids going 20 and 21 and 19 and 20, and
just thinking. A couple years ago, if I remember correctly, there was two young boys, 12 and 13-year-olds. They went 75 of 75.
Oh my gosh!
And 73 of 75, if I remember.
Is that right?
Maybe off a couple, but it was uncanny, the number of shots that they did, and just when it kept going 5 and 5 and 5 and 5.
And you've seen these young people, and they keep their cool, right? They don't get nervous because, boy, I would choke immediately.
Many keep their nerves. There's a few that miss a couple of shots that not so much keep it.
Yeah.
They kind of blow up a little bit. But
well, I just had the young lady from Sandwich here. She's a two-time DeKalb County spelling bee champion, and she talked about the pressure of the spelling bee and when all those eyes are on you like that. And I can imagine with the basketball would be the same thing. The pressure.
Intensified because you're sitting at mid-court with 11 other compadres of your age.
Yeah.
Watching each one take 15 shots and then 10 shots, and get nervous.
And then you do the 15 and then 10, and then if there's like a runoff or a playoff.
If there's a tie.
Okay.
There's five warm up, then you throw 10 good, then you sit down. everybody goes that round, then it comes back around to you, then you stand up and do 15 more.
Okay.
So there could be 20 minutes, half hour between shooting.
Oh.
So if you get into a rhythm, you got to bring that rhythm back real
Right.
fast.
Yeah, and that ain't easy. All right, that's cool. That's great. Again, that's just some of the things that the Elks do. Just amazing. We talked about their founding here, and of course, the building here locally downtown used to be the building now that's in the what is it? The
Hearing aids.
yeah,
It's the old Mayo doctor on the corner of First and Lincoln.
right. So that was headquarters for a lot of years, huh?
For many years.
And you guys, what should point out that DeKalb Elks Lodge number 765 has been around since for 120 years. Originally operated a prominent downtown building at First and Lincoln Highway. In 1994, the lodge relocated to its current 11-acre facility at 209 South Annie Glidden Road. I didn't realize you have 11 acres over there. Right?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that big too.
Yeah, that's great. So what was it like in that old building? I guess it's beautiful. Did you just have one main room that you guys met in?
No,
or-
it was an old house that was still an old house that they built a little bar area out the backside,
Okay.
and then they added to the going west the addition for the kitchen and the dance hall, so to speak. But it was still the bedrooms and everything upstairs were set up.
Is that right?
You know, the beds were gone, but they just reworked the walls and the paint and everything, and turned it into an office space.
That's awesome. And of course, the downtown area we mentioned at the landmark building, 1994, they relocated to Annie Glidden Road. Now, I imagine there was a lot of fundraising for that. And how did that come about, Brian, with the new building there?
It was fundraising. We ended up taking a loan out for $200,000, and then it was fundraising for the next few years to get that paid off.
Okay. And then one of the most exciting things, the 2022 Memorial Edition, the lodge expanded its grounds by dedicating a public veterans memorial, reinforcing the Elks century-long national pledge to never forget returning soldiers and their families. And one of the cool things about that is Mike Embry was behind that, I know. The memorial created on all 6 branches of the military, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Air Force, and the Space Force as well, plus American flags, the POW MIA flags, and the Elk flag as well. What a wonderful event that was, Brian.
When it was dedicated, it was attended by quite a few people that really enjoyed the look. And when the lights are on, as it's getting dusk, and you come down Annie Glidden Road and look at the lights.
It's like being in
So
Washington.
It's gorgeous.
It really is. It's just spectacular, really. And this, in front of the flags, the new Memorial Brick Plaza, which is 54 feet long and 24 feet wide. And then you have the memorial bricks there, right? Is right,
You
Brian?
can purchase more bricks. Correct.
All right, that's great, too. And then, again, we mentioned that if you want to go see it at 209 South Annie Glidden Road in DeKalb, the 120 years existence for many people. Remember the Oak Lodge on the First Street there back in the day. And then just mentioning some of the programs that the Elks put on. We mentioned the hoop shoot, but scholarships, and that's a big one, too, especially kids wanting to go to school that don't have the money. How does the Elk Scholarship work? How does that?
Well, we have the most valuable student scholarships that a student can apply for, which can be $1,000 a year for 4 years. It's a selection process. They fill it out, then it works its way through the district and state and then the national. Then there's legacy awards. That's for children of members. Could be a grandfather as a member.
Oh, okay.
His granddaughter or grandson could apply using his name or her. Could be grandma's name. It could be. At one time, the Elks were the second largest provider of scholarships in the nation.
Is that right?
And we've since, I don't think we don't promote that much because there's a lot of businesses out there that give just as much. But nationally, who funds this program, this year's budget, I believe, was over $4 million
Okay.
for scholarships for students.
Oh, that's great. You know, the young lady I mentioned, Bridget Reed, who the spelling bee champion, she is also a daughter of the American Revolution, which I learned all about that. I didn't realize that if you had a family member that fought in the Revolution. So this way, I like that the fact that the members would get priority.
Members can put their grandson or granddaughter.
And of course, the National Memorial in Washington, you guys were very much responsible making that happen, and so beautiful, such a wonderful thing. I go at the Veteran Services, so long as they're veterans, the Benevolent Protective Orders of Elks will never forget them. Now, community investments. Tell us about some of the stuff you guys do locally here too, Brian.
Locally, we work. We do fundraising for Opportunity House. We do fundraising. We volunteer the building, and the grounds for mobile food pantry once We give out scholarships.
That's enough. That's more than enough right there. And then drug awareness programs. We know we have that. We have our mascot. Are we still doing that?
Elroy the Elk.
Elroy the Elk.
Elroy, he gets out to a lot of different things. He makes it to Camp Maple Leaf in the summer. He makes it to breakfast with the kiddies for both Easter and Christmas. He could be a she too. Depends upon who's
That's
in
right.
the costume at that time.
But we know it really works because when kids that young determine that drugs are not good for them, it just keeps getting reinforced. That's great that you guys are there to reinforce that, right? Because they're going to have the peer groups. They're going to try to get them to do things. But if that lesson is instilled, it should stick, right?
That should. That's the purpose of it. When I was in Washington, D.C. in March, I met with Terrence Cole, I believe, who is the current director of the Drug Enforcement Agency. And he applauded the work that the Elks do nationwide as one of the last leaders of drug prevention.
Yeah, I know. You don't hear drug prevention much at all. And then now the Elks History Project, I don't know about the history through the project of magazine archives, photo gallery, and document centers and more. Do you know about that?
I don't know what
I didn't know
you're
about that one. They snuck that one in. That's the bottom one there on that one. And then, of course, there's a soccer shootout, junior golf as well.
Well, the Elks History Project, that's for lodges to go into that website and put in their own history,
Oh, okay.
what they feel is pertinent,
I see,
dedicated
okay.
to them.
Oh, that's great. And, of course, junior golf. We can't mention them all. Soccer, junior golf there. And then school and community, you have the American Essay Contest. And again, the young lady, again, I referred to, Bridget, won several essay contests as well. Do you do that all the time, the essay contest?
That depends upon getting into the schools.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes the schools let us in, sometimes the schools don't let us in.
Right. The dictionary project, is that still
We've
something?
not done the dictionary project for a couple of years.
Okay.
Dictionaries are getting to be a thing of the past.
Well, they are, unfortunately. Again, I still have a lot of respect for dictionary. Of course, I have Encyclopedias Britannicas at home, too, so don't mind me. And then, of course, the Elks National Memorial is 100 years old, so again, a very significant, you would be
It'll be 100 on July 4th.
on July 4th. Yeah, and what a building here. Let's say, the folks that haven't been, I remember driving by that the first time. I just was in awe. I was literally, my mouth was hanging open looking at it. It was originally to pay tribute to the Elks that sacrificed during World War I and provide a new home for the Order of the National Administrative Headquarters. But you don't work there, Brian, right?
That's where I work.
Oh, it is where? So that's a mile from Wrigley Field.
That's a mile south of Wrigley Field.
Oh, I thought it was more south than that. Wow. It has been rededicated 3 times. We'll talk about that, why it's been rededicated. But you mentioned Jack Flash Pershing being very instrumental in that. More than 70,000 Elks who served in the conflict, including Pershing, were command. Oh, you mentioned that already. And more than 1,000 passed away. I didn't realize that. And I think we sent 1 million men over, didn't we, altogether?
That I don't know.
Yeah, I think there were 1 million men that we sent over. And of course, then you had to get them back, after that. In 1921, the Grand Lodge session in Los Angeles, initial budget of $2.5 million to build this, and that's about $331 million in today's dollars, was set aside to construct a memorial. And there's a lot going on with this memorial, right, Brian? I mean, some of the marble that was used.
There's marble from like 13 different countries.
Here, high-quality materials, including marble from Greece, Austria, France, Belgium, and Italy, as well as from Vermont, Tennessee, Alabama, and Missouri, were used to adorn the memorial's breathtaking interior. And limestone from Indiana was used to face the grand exterior. After 3 years of work, the structure was substantially completed and dedicated July 14th, 1926.
Yep.
Wow.
100 years ago this year.
Now, do we know who was there for the dedication at that point? Or would that be,
No, don't have a clue.
would that be Calvin Coolidge?
I'll be there in a 100-year celebration, but I don't know who was there back then.
And what about access to this building? Because I said it's so beautiful, but...
Access, it's open from noon to 4, Monday through Saturday.
Oh, it is? Okay.
People come in and take a tour with the guides that are available or just walk around by themselves.
Oh, it's just, because there's a lot to take in, isn't there? Boy.
It's gorgeous.
The sculptures and everything, and there's a great poem I wanted to read that, a plaque inscribed with the Centennial message, erect in honor of those who served our country in war and peace. In reverent gratitude, we commemorate their patriotism, their valor, and their faithful devotion to duty. Their sacrifice is our sacred trust. Their memory shall endure. And, of course, as long as there are veterans, the Elks will never forget them. But what a great thing to have on the plaque there.
It speaks volumes.
It really does. And when you think about the sacrifice, they do a thing during Memorial Day where they read letters from Vietnam and Korea, and letters that people wrote back, and you realize that these young men lost their age, lost their lives at 18 and 19 years old. It just really hits. So how you can complain about anything here in America when you realize the sacrifice that these young men made, young men and women, and
Back then and currently now.
currently now. Yes, and that's why you'll never forget, right?
That's why we don't forget.
And then the arch, I wanted to mention this, the ornate bronze doors with the main entrance carved 2 declarations. The word on the left-hand side arch remind us all those who enter, quote, the triumph of peace endures, while the statement on the right-hand side of the arch proclaims the triumph of war perishes. And that's just right to the point, isn't it, Brent?
Living and dying.
Yeah, just right there. I love that. That's why I highlighted that. That's great. And of course, the convention being in Chicago, how exciting is that?
Should have about 7,000 people in Chicago, starting in a week and a half.
Now, you say you have about 6 more trips left as the Grand Exalted Ruler?
We've roughly visited 44 states since July of last year, and we have 5 more states to go.
Has there been a highlight so far? I know they've all been highlights, but
They've all been highlights.
Has there been a moment, an elk that you met that just shaking his hand or her hand and just?
There was a time we were in Kansas for the visit, and we went to their version of, we'll say, Opportunity House, where they have special needs adults learning a trade to fit in and make money, earn money, whichever. They're making air filters.
Oh, really?
So Stefan was given the task of teaching Brian how to make a filter. And Brian couldn't move fast enough for Stefan, and he kept shoving me out of the way to show me a faster way. And I had to chuckle, I said. There's a picture of me and Stefan holding the finished product. He's kind of sour, dour in the face, and Brian
get this guy out of here.
And I'm smiling like a Cheshire cat that I actually finished it and didn't have glue all over my face. So that was a highlight.
Well, I bet. I like what you say. You see all the people that said again, making the difference, being the difference. They're so great. And of course, the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. And of course, when I was researching you, I came across Donna Lee's Klatt's obituary. You lost Donna Lee back in 2019. She married Robert in 1957 at St. Mary's Catholic Church in West Brooklyn, Illinois. Graduated from Paw Paw High School in 1954. She worked at the DeKalb Hospital and Kishwaukee Hospital from 67 to 2015. That's 1967 to 2015, working in the business office as a personal.
She's still there.
And finally, an associate in the human resource before retiring in April of 2015. A member of the St. Mary's Catholic Church in DeKalb, DeKalb Women's Club, a Red Hat Society, Lady of the Elks 765, and a member of the Kishwaukee Hospital Auxiliary as well. Well, I don't have to ask where you get your work ethic and your.
For both mom and dad.
Yeah, and now dad is, I have been told that your dad would be a great interview, so I wanted to make sure I interviewed you for Jennifer Yoakum.
Oh, okay.
Said, a great guy would be for your podcast would be Bob Klatt. He goes, Bob Klatt knows everything. And could talk about Corn Fest, he said. Said.
He got us all involved in Corn Fest. It was actually the original corn boil back in the 1970s, I believe, where it started out that I believe it was Leroy Levine took the tractor down to the Elks on First Street, made some corn for a corn stag there, and then drove the tractor down the center, down Lincoln Highway, to the parking lot at 4th Street and set it up and have the free corn boil, serving the community and having a sidewalk sale. That was back in the 60s.
That's how she started, huh?
That's how it all started.
And then you stayed with that all the way through. Okay.
I was with it for about 30-some years,
okay,
somewhere in that vicinity, dealing with the corn boil itself. Me and Chuck Seabrass.
Yeah. And, of course, the meetings, you didn't go to the meetings, too. Yeah. And now we had that brief period where we were at the airport, and was that good, you think, or bad? Or that, obviously, people wanted it back down.
My truth? It stunk.
Oh, it's okay. You can say that now.
What are they going to do to me?
What are they going to do to you? Well, Brian, this has been more than an honor for me to get to do this. Again, my late stepfather was also a Grand Exalted Ruler, Bob Sabin. I learned so much through him, and I got the honor of becoming an elk. While you were there, it was just very moving for me. I got to refer to my uncle, the priest, and how much it would mean to him if he was alive to see that. But it meant so much to my mother, Margaret, and just can't thank you enough for that. It's just been an honor to be an elk. I wish I want to do more. I want to do more to be the difference, as you talk about, Brian. And And I think you've inspired a lot of people here, not only in DeKalb, but throughout the country now. And thank you for what you've done.
Thank you. I appreciate it, TD. It's been a pleasure talking to you this morning.
That is Bryan Klatt, the Grand Exalted Leader of the Elks, and that's TD Ryan Podcast number 66.